You're listening to the Unheard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 20 of the Unheard Podcast. Again, I'm joined by my fellow co-star, Mr. Sneaks. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, mate. I'm very well. We're coming to the end of the Battlefield Open weekend, and I just thought now is the best time for us to get together and just to talk a little bit about the gameplay, and because we both played it, right? We both played it since Thursday, and yeah, I just want to capitalize on the opportunity why it's still fresh. I mean, yeah, this is the first day. It's now Monday, the 11th of August, and the open weekend's finished. So, yeah, just generally, how did you find it, mate?
We are so back, dude.
I think so as well.
I had so much fun.
We both played on Thursday. You already had the code, right?
Yeah. I already have the code, yeah. So I played it... Was it Thursday or was it Wednesday?
It was Thursday it came out.
It was Thursday, wasn't it? Yeah. It was WoW was Wednesday, yeah. Yeah, I ended up streaming it on Thursday. You played it for like 4 hours on stream, and then played it more in the evening off stream, and then played more on Friday, and then Saturday, and then I played some yesterday as well. It felt so good to be back playing a good Battlefield game. It was great fun. I had a lot of fun sniping as well, and like back in the day I used to be terrible at sniping, but I think from the level of satisfaction that I got playing as like running a lot of bolties playing Tarkov, I've definitely got more of a passion for sniping in other FPS games, and it was an awful lot of fun, dude. It was an awful lot of fun. I played a game Saturday morning with Joey the Pom, and I got 35 kills in one map using a bolt action rifle. I recorded it, and helpfully no audio recorded, which was a shame because it was quite possibly one of the best games of Battlefield I have ever played in my life, and it was so satisfying.
It's always the case, though, isn't it? When you have the game of your life and you know,
aren't recording, yeah,
it's and you know, it's like you just tell your friends like, oh well, where's the proof? Oh, I haven't got any. Yeah, it didn't happen, mate. I'll be honest, I wasn't in the situation when 2042 dropped, and it dropped like an absolute lead balloon. I don't know what the ins and outs were, to be honest, of why it failed. There were issues with the open weekend. You know, we had people that we were playing with that couldn't see guns.
Yeah,
things just weren't rendering on screens. But I mean, look, this is why developers have these like open weekends, so like these issues can be ironed out.
So looking at doing a quick Google, 2042 was, funnily enough, it was a rush development. There were poor design choices, and there were proper big issues at launch. I remember it was like cooking people's graphics cards and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What's been really cool about watching kind of Battlefield 6 and the beta test kind of looming closer and closer and closer is that the people behind it, the developers, have been really kind of focused on getting feedback from the community and like what we love as Battlefield players. Like, I've played Battlefield since I had an Xbox 360. I absolutely adore this series. In fact, I played Battlefield when it was on computer, like back in the day, like, and on PlayStation, and like I've played probably all of the games, and I played the 2042 beta, and I was like, yeah, this is all right. Like, I wasn't really feeling it too much, and then because it came out on Game Pass, I played it on Game Pass. I was like, I can use a hovercraft to climb up the side of an entire skyscraper. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm not interested in it. I went back. Right, and so Battlefield 2, the World War II game, was all right. It wasn't great. I went back to playing Battlefield 1, the World War 1 game, man, because that was probably, up until this game, that was probably the best, other than like Battlefield 3 and 4, that was probably the best like online experience I'd had in a long time in terms of a Battlefield game.
Yeah, I'll be really honest. I played Battlefield 4, then I played Battlefield 1 when that came out. It was 1 after 4, wasn't it?
Yeah, Battlefield 1 came out for the centenary of World War 1.
That's it,
and it was wicked.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a historically accurate game in the slightest. Like, so many of the guns in that game, like, one was made. And a lot of my, like, incredibly World War One knowledgeable historian friends proper kicked off about it. But I was like, it's a cool Battlefield game. Like, I don't really care. Like, I can kind of separate those two things. Don't get me wrong. Like, the tanks were way too quick. But anyway, let's not turn this into a history podcast.
So I played Battlefield 4. That was really good. And then I played Battlefield 1, and I got that on PlayStation 4. I missed Hardline. Didn't play 5. 2042 came out. Didn't really play it on release because of the issues that people were having with graphics cards and things like that. So I didn't really touch it. And then this Battlefield 6, it feels fresh. It feels good.
There were issues with it, like there were bugs with being able to kind of like half mount on like walls and stuff like that, which meant that you could basically do like Call of Duty style like wall running and stuff like that. And I did see an incredibly funny tweet from a specifically Call of Duty and Warzone, like it's a fairly big page on Twitter, talking about how, Battlefield 6 has already got movement demons. Yeah, they might have absolute movement demons, but my tank says no. Like I don't care if you can slide cancel and run around pretending that you're still dressed up as a £30 Snoop Dogg skin on whatever the Warzone map is. But my Abrams says, see that building that you're in, mate? It's gone, and so are you. Like in a bit, like I think too many people, and I've seen an awful lot of this on the internet, and this kind of goes back to stuff that we will be talking about and have discussed off the podcast on Tarkov. Too many Call of Duty stands have gone over to Battlefield expecting it to be the same game, and Battlefield has done everything in its power to not be another Call of Duty game. It has always been a different FPS experience than something like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's kept to its core values. That's what it's done, mate.
I think it was XQC was like, it needs a ranked mode. No, it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't need a ranked mode.
No.
Just like you have got. And I hope it's the same with Battlefield 6. Do you remember, like, Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1, like, the amount of stuff that you could unlock for each class?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And, like, it was great because you could go, right, I'm going to focus on medic, and I'm going to level up X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to try and get this gun. Like, and I hope it's the same. And, like, looking at, like, the weapon builds and stuff like that, which are pretty intuitive in Battlefield 6, like, the way that you can kind of build guns and add items that are going to improve certain aspects of your gun and not be able to go, right, I've unlocked every best in slot part for this weapon, which means that, I can basically shoot directly in a straight line, and, it basically gives you wall hacks and aim assist and everything else. You can take certain things up to a certain amount of points. So if you want a really good suppressor, then that's going to cost more points and they're going to allow you to add a really good sight on it, stuff like that. It's a really clever idea, and I quite like it. It's quite self-explanatory. It makes sense, and like the upgrades and the additions and stuff, like the menu system's really cool as well. Like I think it was really polished for a beta. Other than the fact that when we were playing with Rennie at one point, he couldn't see that he had a gun. And then,
that was hilarious. To be honest,
when he ended the game, all he could see was the gun and no players on our squad view, which was gold.
And then I looked to my left monitor, and then I saw a screenshot you'd sent me with just...
It was just floating guns, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it just summed up open beta test weekend in one photo.
It fully gave me Grey Zone Warfare vibes when everyone was running around not wearing helmets because you couldn't see your head, and the only reason that you could see the head of a player was when they were wearing a hat or a helmet, because that was the only thing that you could see. It was great. I had an awful lot of fun. Like getting back on Battlefield with the boys as well was cool. Just like chilling out, fragging out, kind of just mindless violence without having to like really concentrate on anything, if that makes sense. Like Battlefield and like FPS games like that and like CODs are a different experience to something like Tarkov. I definitely found it harder to stream than I feel that I find with Tarkov though. Just because it was constant, and like for that 20 minutes you're in conquest mode, you are focused, like you are playing the game because there is so much stuff going on. Like it's quite difficult, I found, to interact with chat. Whereas with Tarkov, you've got those periods of downtime, so you can kind of sit about and waffle and have a bit of a chat and everything else. And it's the same with like when I stream WoW occasionally. Like I can just chat when I'm waiting for a dungeon or before I have to literally stare at my keyboard to make sure I'm pressing buttons, actually look at anything that's on my screen other than the bar at the bottom of it going, right, I need to find out a way to make that as big as my monitor. So it actually looks like I'm looking at the entire screen, not just the bottom box, because I don't know my rotations.
It was good, mate. It was good. It was clean as well. It was a clean open beta.
And even the queue times, like, because I remember you sent me a WhatsApp message, like, I'll be on in a minute, and then when maybe not. And you had like a queue of like 200,000 people waiting to get in.
I was having flashbacks and PTSD moments of when New World came out, and I had to put my PC on, and
that was a waste of money.
I just knew, it was. And let's hope Battlefield 6 isn't as well. But
no pre-orders.
It was putting the PC on and waiting for it, knowing that it was going to take you an hour to get into a game.
Do you remember that wipe? That Tarkov wipe when they had queues as well?
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah. But do you want to know what a mad fact is, right? Mm-hmm. Battlefield 6 on Twitch. Do you want to place a guess of how many viewers that Battlefield 6 had at its peak on Twitch?
500,000.
Higher.
Really? I have no idea then.
900,000 people were watching it at its peak. 12.2 million hours watched.
I'm going to tell you when that peak would have been without even looking.
That would have been day
Thursday,
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been day one, because I looked at one point and it was like 730,000 people were watching it.
Yeah, but then views drop off very quickly. You get your code and you get out, mate.
42,500 channels streamed it.
Wow. Yeah, because you get your code and then you go live, don't you? It's as simple as that. If you're a content creator, you get your code and you go live. Like, you're going to get more of a benefit having drops enabled on your channel than what you are if you don't have drops enabled on your channel.
Oh, no, absolutely. But it was kind of cool, because I had some people that came in and stuck about and were watching it, and that was cool. Like some new people within the community and stuff, which was wicked.
Yeah.
It beat, in terms of numbers, it beat Just Chatting, which is usually the highest. It's the highest category on Twitch. 330. Right, so in the time of the beta, which was Thursday to this morning, 339,386 hours of Battlefield 6 was broadcast.
Wow. Wow. That's it's insane, isn't it? But like, it's expected as well, man. It's expected, isn't it? Because it's a highly anticipated game. And especially 100%. When 2042 flopped at launch, it's Battlefield's second chance. And I think it did really well. I think it recovered itself really well. And I haven't seen a whole lot of negatives, if I'm being honest. But I haven't looked for the negatives because I was so happy with it. So I'm not going to go dive into what, why it was bad. People are obviously going to do reviews, but overall, I would say it was very good.
So usually the people that I kind of look out for in terms of people that are going to kind of talk openly about their thoughts on what needs to be changed with the game, and I find it difficult when I'm playing a game to be critical about a game, if that makes sense. I'm too focused on like playing the game,
Yeah, I get that.
Like, so Big Fry, who's usually pretty critical of FPS games, he's got like a lot of small criticisms from like terms of like map design, gameplay, and like the user interface. But at the end of that sentence, he said, "Holy fuck, did I have a lot of fun this weekend?"
Yeah, and that I think that's all. That is all it's about, mate. Did you have fun? Yes. Great.
So much fun. And same with One Peg, right? He said very minor critiques which have been addressed, like larger conquest maps. He felt that the movement felt fine. Like engineers getting both stingers and RPGs kind of seems a bit overp.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit overpowered, if I'm being honest, but I wasn't complaining, mate. Cause...
Yeah, shotguns got nerfed quick as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Because they were one shot anywhere at the start of the beta.
I was hearing that a lot, to be honest. Shotguns were OP.
Oh, mate, they were dirty, dude. Like, you would literally, like, you didn't even need to aim. You just shot and killed people in a room, and that was about it. The game mode user interface selection feels like Netflix menus, which I kind of see. Like, it does look like a Netflix menu. Maps feel like they're corridor-based rather than open. I kind of get that, especially like the Cairo map seemed quite laney. Even... In fact, all three of the maps kind of felt laney to me.
Yeah, but I like that. I like that, though.
I like that, but I also really like open maps, especially when you're playing something big like Conquest. Like, imagine, what was the mountain map called? Imagine if that was double the width. The mountain map, yeah. That's the
with the hidden rock.
Yeah, I still didn't find that hidden rock. But anyway,
I found it. Yeah, I found it.
Yeah, like I feel like if that was twice the width, it needed to be less laney, because I found, right, if I set up in a certain position above C, right, I could just sit and snipe And yeah, I'd probably get killed occasionally by a sniper, but I could sit up there and I could snipe people and locate them and basically give the rest of the team an advantage with those teams that were pushing from like A side up towards C and that right side, because I could just sit there and spot people and then the rest of the team would see.
Yeah.
There needs to be a lot more verticality, I feel, in some of the urban maps, like taller buildings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because like they were all like Cairo was very kind of 2, maybe 3 stories, right? Imagine, you know what I would like to see actually? Not necessarily a conquest map, but some kind of map. It could even be breakthrough? So where you've got to kind of push the enemies off the objectives and then push them back and push them back and push them back. Could you imagine, right, if they did a map, no vehicles, and it was just one skyscraper, and you had to push them up floor by floor by floor to the top of the building? How cool would that be? Or you had to push them down and out of the building. I think that'd be wicked. But I think, yeah, a little more kind of verticality in some of the maps would be cool, and like a little more open spaced and slightly less laney for some of the maps. So I do get like why the lanes are there, you know. I just think that it kind of gives, if you can set up in a certain position on some of those maps, you know, you're going to have the advantage in terms of basically spawn trapping the other team. Yeah. Unless they really push out and are really quick or, you know, far more kind of competent than your team is, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So the next playtest is this Thursday, which is Thursday the 14th of August.
Yeah, starting at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Yeah. So anyone who had access to the first weekend should have access to the second weekend. Is that right?
I believe so, yeah.
So there we go. Whether they're going to do another drops, I don't know.
I think they will do. And it looks like a lot of the kind of challenges to get skins and stuff, which I believe are going to carry over into the main game.
Yeah.
They should do, otherwise it seems entirely pointless. Like, there's a lot of them, and a lot of people were kind of under the assumption that to unlock those in the first playtest and they're going to do more. I hope they do more, but I hope that they keep those ones in that I haven't unlocked yet, because I spent far too long playing with a sniper, because it was so much fun, dude. Oh my God, it was so much fun. Like that crack when you headshot someone. Oh God, it was great.
So we get the addition of Empire State on the second weekend. So this weekend coming, we get the addition of the map Empire State.
There's a New York map.
Yeah, so we get that map this weekend, as well as all the maps from week 1. We get all the week 1 modes, and we also get Rush, Squad Deathmatch, it just says, and more. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of it, and we'll do another catch up next week and put something out of generally what we feel about the whole 2 weekends of testing and exposure to Battlefield 6. Let me ask this question just before we wrap up about Battlefield though. Are you going to pre-order it?
No.
Why not?
Because look, if I pre-order it, it's going to be the third playtest weekend. That I make the decision. But then I also don't necessarily feel like I'm going to get much out of pre-ordering it for like extra stuff, you know? What do you get from the pre-order? Let me just have a quick look.
It'll be a skin on and maybe a battle pass thing. But the game actually releases on the 10th of October. Personally, I understand why you don't want to pre-order it. It's advertised here on the EA app as being included with EA Play Pro.
Which you have to pay for.
Which is, I believe, that's £16.99 a month.
Yeah.
Or you could buy Standard Edition, which is $59.99. Or you can buy Phantom Edition, which is $89.99. And the only difference is, like what you've said,
weapon skins and XP boosts and stuff like that.
You get the Battlefield Pro token, which is the season's battle pass, 25 tier skips and more. You get the Phantom Squad, 4 soldier skins, 2 weapon packs, weapon skin and more, and you get the XP boost,
so I
only
mean,
for an extra 30 quid.
Only for an extra 30 quid and you get some cool pixels. I think potentially back in the day, I may well have pre-ordered the most expensive one, but like the problem is there's going to be Tarkov 1.0. You know, am I going to have enough time to sweat that battle pass on Battlefield when 1.0's come out and I really want to throw myself in head first and WoW and, you know, everything else?
Yeah, but 1.0, and we know this, 1.0, as soon as it drops, that is going to be the focus, mate.
Exactly. So, like, it's not worth me spending 90 quid on a game that I'm definitely going to play it. And, you know, there are going to be days where I, like, don't want to stream Tarkov, right? Or I just want to fight stuff and not worry about questing and blah, 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 and XYZ. I'll play Battlefield, but am I going to play Battlefield enough to warrant spending £20 on a Battlefield game? Probably not.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I won't be buying it. I won't be getting the pass. If I want to play it, I'll play Battlefield 2042. Yeah, it's look, these free weekends are great, but yeah, just not for me, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, when we release the follow-up next week, we might say, fucking hell, you know, we're definitely getting it.
I've pre-ordered 17 copies yet.
It's been a good opening weekend. I think there's a lot of positivity, a lot of hype over it. Let's see what it's like on the following weekend now that's coming up. And then, yeah, but so far, so good.
You're listening to the Unheard Podcast.